A very good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and all those wishes from whichever part of the world, whichever time zone you are watching one more episode of the Revolving Perspective. Now, we talked about last time, the perspectives are just like day and night. They both exist at the same point of time in different parts of the world, but they both exist and they both are real. Similarly, perspectives are also real. People around us, they have gone through various situations in their life and they have come up with flying colors from there. A lot to learn from these individuals, a lot to understand from these individuals. They are actually the source of inspiration that we always look around for. Today, we bring to you one more entrepreneur from Mr. Khalid Gibran. Now, I can't say from where because he is almost everywhere. Okay, so entrepreneur doing businesses in almost 9 countries, have launched businesses in Dubai, in Southeast Asia, and you name the country, and actually he can be there. Okay, the next minute he will be there. He's so agile, so flexible, so open-hearted, and a very good human being. A good friend of mine have taught me a lot uh, in a very short duration since I've met him, and that inspired me actually to invite him here in order to allow him to talk about his journey, in order to allow us to learn from his journey. And ladies and gentlemen, that's for you, Mr. Khalid Gibran. Khalid, welcome and thanks to be here. It is lovely to have you once again back with me.
Thank you, Gunja, and thank you for inviting me to the Revolving Perspectives. And again, thank you for a fantastic introduction. I'm not sure whether I deserve all those credits.
You deserve much more than that. I think I couldn't do justice with my words out there.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Khalid, before we start, why don't you tell our audiences as to what Khalid Gibran is as an entrepreneur? What all sectors of the industry or what all type of customers Khalid Gibran is actually addressing?
Okay, so I've just launched my ninth business, believe it or not. Still very young, and looking forward to many more. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm out of Sri Lanka, but grown in New Zealand, grew up in New Zealand, and lived all around the world, done business all around the world. And for me, it's very simple. The philosophy of business is very, very simple. I just try and fulfill massive needs in the market, and it's all about service. Things have changed these days with youngsters. They're all running after the money, the dollars. But for me, it's about serving the needy, and with service comes great rewards. So this is my business philosophy. I've been in several businesses, but at present, I've got businesses that are to do with an agency model, so marketing agency, social media. We've got e-commerce, and also I'm one of the biggest kitchenware distributors in Southeast Asia. So at the moment, we've got businesses that span across all of Southeast Asia, New Zealand and Australia. And customer segments, we've got B2B businesses as well as B2C business. What's exciting these days is a couple of new businesses I've started. One is to do with e-commerce, and the other one is to do with live commerce, if you've heard of live commerce.
No, not yet. We'll get to know more about it from you.
Yeah, so that's where we are. In terms of live commerce, just a quick thing there. What's live commerce? There's a lot of people out there that are selling on Facebook, right?
Correct.
A lot of individuals that are selling on Facebook, lots of things from pickles to, curry powders to fans to all sorts of stuff. And what they're doing is when they need to do a call to action, it's all about, PM me, personal message me, private message me, and I'll send you a link. And then through that, you can deposit the money into my bank account. So when you have all these processes to go through, probably there's maybe 1,000 viewers, and then you get 50 people that want to buy. At the end of the day, while you wait until the end of the hour, once you finish your pitch, there'll probably be only about 4 or 5 that really want to buy. So there is a technology called live commerce that we fit at the back end of Facebook Live, whereby now, as you pitch, they can buy on the spot. So meaning that I like that item, so C1 plus 1, meaning one quantity, and push message us and then on their messenger they will get a link where they pay automatically, and the product gets delivered to their house.
Brilliant.
That's latest business, yeah.
That
So
is something brilliant, Khalid. I think people around the world needs this, isn't it? Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, tell me one more thing, Khalid. I have been a big fond of this particular thing of yours, okay? Because I do relate it very nicely with me, but I've still not been able to reach where you are actually. I see you always wearing your brand. So your brand is very close to your heart, okay? Yeah, that's the reason. And so tell us something about this, especially for the entrepreneurs outside. I normally keep asking them a question. I ask them, what is your favorite brand? And people come up with Samsung and, Tesla and other things. I said, why not your brand here? It should be your brand, which should be the first in your mind when I ask you, what is your favorite brand? So I keep asking this, but then if I have seen one person walking the talk is you. So just take us through this one fascination of yours.
So it's interesting. I mean, believe you me, I mean, I wish my wife was listening to this because she always tells me off because I wear this T-shirt from the time I wake up. So I've got a gym version, I've got a walking version, I've got a work version, I've got a meeting version, and then I've also got a weekend version, right? So
Wow.
whenever you see me, most of the time you'll see me with this T-shirt and logo. So whatever concept that I've launched at that point in time, until it sort of, until it can grow wings and fly,
Hmm.
I become an ambassador of that brand. And for me, I mean, I always tell the entrepreneurs that I actually coach and mentor as well. If if that's your passion and you live it, that every breath you take, you're thinking about it, and you're walking around, you're meeting a lot of people that are to do with that sort of industry and topic. Why
Hmm.
not showcase your own brand on yourself? Why not? And it's a cool thing. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Absolutely.
Look at
It's
that. It's
absolutely a cool thing.
a story,
I
right?
have been I have been a fond of this right from the day when I've started seeing you. I've always appreciated this particular one aspect of yours. And okay, coming back to this, still I have one more question here. You just said you have many versions of these t-shirts, correct? A meeting version and all. So maybe after this interview, you would send me a couple of photographs of all those versions, so I'll also get them developed for me. Okay.
Sure. No, actually, it makes sense if you think about it, right?
Actually, it makes sense.
If you give birth to a brand, it's like your baby, right? So you should be proud of it. And why not sport it all across, make it part of your lifestyle, right?
Yeah, make that baby a celebrity, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and it starts with you, right? I mean,
Actually.
if you don't walk the talk, how are your followers or your, employees going to do the same, right?
Absolutely.
For me, it's always about I start first. And with this one, I think you know this. This is a home cooks haven e-commerce site. So I started with home cooking myself. Um,
Wow.
I became a bit of a home cook before I started this business, so I could understand the pain points of home cooks and how to serve them appropriately, right?
I have watched a couple of your videos on Facebook on that when you were trying to cook out on something. So yes. Uh, okay, Khalid, changing it a bit more because I know there is so much to extract from you. It is just not possible in even if I do this for 24 hours along with you. Okay, so I'll be quickly changing gears. So please pardon me for that. Uh, but the topics will come up from everywhere. Okay, because I have so many things written with me in order to ask you. We talked about branding, and you absolutely said that a brand is a baby that needs to be pampered with, that needs to be nurtured, that needs to be taken care of, and then that needs to be shown also to the world. Okay, tell me one more thing, Khalid. What's your take on collaboration? That's a word that is a beautiful word which is doing the rounds in the world now, but I'm not sure whether people really do understand what a collaboration means. So if I may ask you, for people around us, if you need to just explain them collaboration in the simplistic language that you always do, what that would be.
But just rewind a little bit before explaining collaboration. It's
Absolutely.
directly opposite to competition, right?
Actually.
So I first came across this concept from reading Napoleon Hill,
Hmm.
Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read it, you've got to read it. It's a fantastic book. I think it was written almost a century ago. And so collaboration means, for me, very simply put, 1 + 1 = 5. Right? That's
Oh,
collaboration. It's as simple
okay.
as that's the yardstick that I use for any collaboration. So I don't believe in competition. I believe in abundance. There's plenty to go around. And if your focus is on serving people, then collaboration and abundance comes into play, and things become much more clearer because your focus is serving the people that you're serving, your target market, right? So for me, in this instance, it's home cooks. I'm always thinking about them first,
Mm-hmm.
not everything else. So when I think about them first, even so-called competitors that are offering other kitchen, brands that are offering kitchenware, I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to collaborate with them because I say to myself, hey, my home cooks are looking for cast iron, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't import it, right? I don't have it. So where do I go? So I look around and I say, hey, that guy over there, that guy's got cast iron. So let me go and work with him and get his cast iron onto my e-commerce platform so that I could serve my home cooks. So
Absolutely.
if you keep your customer in mind, their needs in mind, and service in mind, then everything falls into place. Collaboration becomes a magical word.
Okay, one more thing, Khalid here. Coming from the common perception that people have around about collaboration, first and foremost parameter here, people are not able to trust each other, and that's where I believe they hold themselves back in terms of going ahead and collaborating with people, and forget about collaborating and trusting. People don't have that habit of meeting people first of all. So if I take that along with collaboration, this particular one aspect of it, what's your take on the connections on the virtual world and the connections that we develop around us physically? I think both are important. Both have their own advantages in life. With this pandemic, obviously, the technology have come up very nicely to us, so we are able to connect virtually also very nicely, like you and me right now, what we are doing here. So, what's your take on this? First of all, coming out of that inhibition to talk to new people, unknown people, and then how to take this forward to a level of collaboration or mutual support or whatever you call it.
Okay, so this is a massive topic. I can talk for maybe days on this, but
I'll not give you that. You will have to finish off quickly.
just simply put, let me take some power words that you've used in the last, I don't know, 30 seconds you went on, because there's so many things. For me, network, right? I mean, that sort of stood out. With youngsters again, my biggest thing that I say to them is if you were to actually accumulate somewhat of an asset for yourself, something that's amazing, something that you can leverage in the future, is network, right? So I've always believed in a network. I'm a people's person. Even if you're not a people's person, I think networking is very, very important, right? And that whole networking in itself is a whole different topic.
Correct.
But networking is very, very important. Whether you do it virtually or physically, it doesn't really matter these days. Actually, as a traditional old-fashioned guy, I love to meet people face to face. I mean, I'd love to meet you, Gunjan. I mean, we've known each other for a few months, but I'd love to meet you. I believe in energy, between people. But these days, I think I've gotten used to virtual catch-ups as well, right?
Hmm.
Another power word that you used is trust.
Absolutely.
Very, very important. I have a very different take on trust, right? Of course, there are agreements between parties who are in collaboration, agency agreements, whatever, right? The black and white.
Correct.
If someone really wants to take advantage of you, they can, right? Let me
Actually,
let
yes, I
no,
completely agree with you.
yeah, no agreement is going to save them, right? So
Actually.
when it comes to something like trust in a business or trust in a relationship, for me, it's about the magnet story. I don't know whether you've heard my magnet story, whereby whatever you want in your life, whatever you want to attract, right? You become the magnet for those things to come and stick to you, right? I mean, you take a magnet, you go around anything, a pin, whatever, it attracts and it comes and sticks to it, right? So
Correct.
if you actually grow and if you actually nurture a magnet within yourself that's full of hatred, distrust, suspicion, and all that, and guess what? You're gonna attract everyone. Even good people that come your way are gonna portray their the suspicious side, the distrusting side of them, right?
Hmm.
So the first thing I would say to yourself as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, is to have the right magnet and power the magnet within yourself
Hmm.
accordingly in terms of whatever the universe you want to live in, a universe filled with love, service, humanity, trust. You build that. You become the magnet for those things. then even with, so-called bad people, in simple terms, you get the right vibes, you get the right things out of them. It's surprising, right? I've had people
Oh,
say to me, Khalid, oh, but that person, be careful, all that sort of stuff. From me, if my magnet says there is, I can trust this guy, I will trust the guy. And in the end, the chemistry between him and I is completely different to the chemistry between him and someone else because of my magnet with him, right? Because I think I strengthen my magnet through visualization and so on as to what I want to attract from the universe, right?
stopping you,
All,
stopping you, interrupting you. Sorry, just one thing before I forget. Khalid, if I'm able to understand you correctly, this means this word trust, which people perceive it the other way, actually it starts from us within. Correct? It have to be first us needing that trust from somebody, and that's when it will come flowing our way. Am I right saying so?
I mean, you trust, and then trust comes towards you, right? You don't
Absolutely.
trust, distrust come towards you, right? So I mean, it's all about what you believe. It's all about your subconscious. It's a whole different topic. I mean, these days it's not spoken too much
Hmm.
amongst the youngsters, especially with entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship is all about visualization, the magnet within, subconscious belief, all of that, right?
Absolutely.
Not necessarily about the money. Money is the result.
Yes.
Money and are the result. If you expect that and start with that, you're not going to get there.
Absolutely. This is a beautiful statement to make, Khalid. This is going to go a long way here from here on. Okay. Changing a bit more again here. Last time when we met, you talked about the word perseverance. You need to believe on what you are doing, and especially as an entrepreneur, yes, your belief should be that rock hard on the act that you're doing. So for the budding entrepreneurs around who would be watching this at some point or the other from various parts of the globe, and who are just contemplating to enter into this journey, what is one message that will go from an expert called Khalid Gibran to them, for them to assess and evaluate as to what they should be doing from this
Uh,
word perseverance?
Around perseverance. Okay, it's a
Yes,
very tricky word as well, right?
I know.
Perseverance, you can break it into two things: smart working or hard working, right?
Correct.
So, I believe in living a 10x life. I believe in leverage, right?
I
So
was about to come to that.
do one action and get multiple results, right? So when you think about all those things, there are two kinds of perseverance, right? If you're
Hmm.
not that smart, you work very hard, and that's perseverance. If you're
Absolutely.
smart, you work smart, right? So you keep working at it. That's also perseverance. The difference between hard work and smart work is hard work is you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a result, right? Thinking, oh, Edison actually tried so many times with his invention, right?
Hmm.
But the smart working is, yeah, of course, Edison did try, but every time he did not achieve a result, he evaluated his actions to
Correct.
make sure, to work out what was it, to learn from it, to learn from the actions that did not contribute to the result he wanted, right? So it's very important. Smart working as opposed to hard working is perseverance is important. So keep doing it, but always learn from the actions that did not produce the result.
Hmm.
So you could get to the result quicker. A hardworking person might take 50 days. A
Hmm.
smart working person might take 3 days. That's the difference, right? In terms of perseverance. So got to be careful.
Yeah, I agree.
Perseverance and persistence. Got to be very careful how you use it.
So, if I've understood it rightly, actually, every time when we fail, it is one more way that we know how not to do it right. Correct. So, next time we should be changing it and doing something better than what we did last time.
How not to do it or actually learn from it. Maybe you've done it halfway through.
Correct.
The next time you can actually do the other half, do it fully. I mean, there's
Something there.
variations. Yeah.
Okay, Khalid, let's have a small rapid fire with you. Okay, I'm expecting a one-word answers from you on these questions, and if you wish to elaborate on something, you can feel free to do so. Okay. Uh, if I have to ask you one word which defines your entrepreneurship journey of Khalid Gibran,
Okay. Belief. Belief.
wow. I'll come to this. Okay, I'll park this belief for a minute, and because I have a question out here, one word that motivates you to bring you out of business crisis ever if it comes.
Cra- uh, Catalyst. I always believe crisis is a catalyst. So the word is catalyst.
Wow. One tip in general as an entrepreneur to the budding entrepreneurs who are looking at entering this particular domain now.
Smart thinking.
Okay. Top
Oh,
three
I've got
things.
another word as well,
Yeah,
Matt.
please go ahead.
Service. Service. Serve.
Okay. If I may ask you, top three things that a person must keep in his mind before entering into a business, what those three things would be?
I suppose belief, smart working,
Mm.
and never giving up. Never giving up.
Okay. For you, importance of social media for business. Now, this is a long answer I'm expecting from you. Let's not keep it as a part of the rapid fire. But importance of social media for a business in today's world. How do you look at it?
Okay, very, very interesting. I mean, there are certain aspects of business that are very important, like branding, belief, and another very, very important power phrase that I always use is omni-channel.
Okay.
Omni-channel. You can
Mm-hmm.
say omni-channel marketing or omni-channel communication. Anything. So say for example, you identify a need, and you've got the solution to serve, right? So you're not doing justice delivering the solution to the needy if you don't explore, if you don't actually pass it through omni-channel, multiple channels, right?
Okay.
So a person may not read emails, they're into WhatsApp, right? So make sure you cover WhatsApp, make sure you cover emails, make sure you cover social media. So some people may have Facebook, some people may not have Instagram, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
may not have Facebook. So cover all angles. But I would say when I think of social media, it's quite conducive to omni-channel exposure, omni-channel marketing or omni-channel communication.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't do justice to the people who you are serving unless you communicate with them through omni-channel. You deliver your service or product through omni-channel. Very important.
Okay, Khalid, one more thing, especially in this part of the world, and obviously in many parts of the world still, people are looking at social media as a tool for their time pass or for fun or something. That sense of business understanding or getting business done through social media is rather now getting developed in last couple of years, if I may say so. So, what is your tip to those entrepreneurs who are still not taking social media seriously? Because I think that's the biggest social capital available anywhere. One can never meet those many people across in physically ever.
Yeah.
So,
No, but I mean, you're spot on. I think the rationale is whether it's fun or not, because for me, business is fun. So
absolutely, no, not from that perspective. Yeah.
I've never considered social media fun. I
Mm.
only use social media as a means to an end, right? So for entrepreneurs that are thinking about, saying to themselves, "Oh, I socialize on social media. How can I do business?" They've got to change their mindset. It's a paradigm shift, saying to themselves exactly what I just said before. You're serving someone. When you start a business, you're serving someone with a solution, with a service or a product, right? In order for you to provide, to justify this serving your target market, you need to use omni-channel.
Correct.
And fortunate or unfortunate, social media forms a major part of omni-channel marketing. So that's the rationale.
Okay, Khalid, one more thing. As an individual, Mr. Khalid Gibran, okay, not as an entrepreneur, as an individual, Mr. Khalid Gibran, and running so many businesses across, okay, what is that one domain in business which you love doing yourself the most? I know entrepreneurs do everything at times, okay, and then they delegate and then they proceed it. But still, something very close to your heart, one domain, which maybe marketing or whatever. What is that?
Oh, I think this is going to be an unexpected answer, but I just love this thing. Yeah, I love to do this thing. This is my passion. This is my hobby. This is my time pass. This is my love. You name it, right? Do you know what it is?
Hmm? No, I'm not. I'm not.
I'm going to tell you now.
Yeah.
It's dreaming. Dream.
Wow. Now this was unexpected. I never
I,
expected this.
I love to dream. I love to dream, whether sitting in the toilet in the morning, whether it's just about in between sleeping and not sleeping, or, I don't know, just dropping my kids at music class and waiting for them. I don't need a book. I don't need a phone. I
Hmm?
just, I love to dream.
And dreams are equally important, isn't it? If you have to really bring them back into realities, you will have to have a dream to do that. Correct?
I
So
mean, the 9 businesses I've actually launched and done and executed and sold off or whatever. They've all been the inception was in my dreams. So that's yeah. This is where things happen. Great things happen.
Khalid, at times before the interview, I was thinking that, I have so many things to ask Khalid. How will I be able to do justice with them and all? Because time will be limited and all. But let me tell you one thing. Whatever I wrote, basis whatever I understood you till now, I think you went 10x from there. So now if I start writing again, I'll have 10x more pages written on you. Okay, in terms of asking from you. So that is what you actually are. And see, I can go on and on and on with you from here on. But then again, as I said, the timings have to be matched up, and because our audiences also are looking at maybe another opportunity to interact with you at some later point of time. So we should do justice with them also, not banging them everything together.
Sure.
Before I leave you, Khalid, from here, I just need to understand one important aspect which I parked a couple of minutes back, and that was belief. Okay, and I know there cannot be a better person than you to talk on this and give us some more insights into this as to what this word for business owners means.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I mean, I always think of Tom Cruise, right? I
Okay.
always think of Tom Cruise, and if the audience that are listening and for yourself, if you ever want to remember belief, you remember Tom Cruise, yeah.
Hmm.
You know what one of the movie series he did was Mission Impossible, right?
Correct.
Right. So I mean,
Yes.
he almost always achieves the mission, although the voice says, okay, it could be, you take it or leave it. He always accepts it first.
Hmm.
Knows it's an impossible mission. He accepts it, and then somehow delivers it, right?
Correct.
So belief is the fact, it's the part where you accept. You accept. Belief is pretty much impossible. Things that are not there, that are not in existence, that
Hmm.
are yet to be born. Believe first, right? Believe, I can be a father. Believe I can be a good husband. Believe that I can be a great businessman. So everything starts with belief. Belief comes from the right side of the brain, not the left side. If
Hmm.
you're logical, if you're highly educated, I'm really sorry to say, belief is very difficult to come by for you, right?
Okay.
So belief, it comes from the right side of the brain. It's the creative brain. It's gut feel. So you believe. I believe first before I do anything. I really believe, truly believe. And it's also, during crisis, you say to me, what's the magic word? It's a catalyst. Also, there is light at the end of every tunnel. That's the belief, right? Not saying, oh shit, it's a long tunnel. Oh, it's darkness, darkness, darkness. But you've got to believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Whether you see it or not is irrelevant. Whether you can see or not, belief is so important. First, that's the first step in anything.
I think I was right when I said that nobody else can explain this word better than you, because I was somewhere expecting this light at the end of the tunnel thing, because I still remember that one slide of yours, and that have really gone very deep in my mind always. Okay, but okay, let me summarize, Khalid, for the benefit of our audiences, what I could grasp from this enriching conversation from you. Belief is one thing, trust is one another thing that people will have to look at. Tricky is perseverance, but then you need to be aware about what smart and hard things are. So go for the smart ones if you can, or otherwise prepare yourself to be smarter than rather than to become a hard worker as such. Also, hard worker as well as needed, but then you need to get converted to a smart worker. And then comes this omni-channel thing. This was something which was very unique, and I'll end it from where I started. Uh, Brand is a baby, and nurture it like what Mr. Khalid Gibran does always. Okay, so get the parenting tip for branding from Mr. Khalid Gibran. That's what I can always say. Or keep watching him, and you will learn many things. Thank you, Khalid. It was a mesmerizing conversation with you. I would have loved to take it continuously from here on, but uh, better luck next time for me, because I'll not leave you as such. We will fix up an appointment sometime, maybe a couple of months down the line again, because this is something that I love talking to you. So thank you very much. It was lovely for us.
Thank you, Gunjan, the greatest wordsmith I've ever come across, from the Revolving Perspectives, and thank you for having me on in your show. It's an honor, Gunjan. Thank you.
Thank you, Khalid.